that on a public forum. This is our family. These are our fathers and mothers. Give them the respect that they deserve, please.
Yes.
I was going to say, I hear the same story a couple of times here. You know, I used to know these guys, and I was a racer, and, you know, I was all pissed off about something they did until I started working with them. Then I realized, you know, I heard that from Ty and him, and once, that's how it was with me, you know. I mean, I think once you start working with this gang of people, you realize how much goes on behind the scenes that you don't have to deal with as a racer. And I've always thought, I know it's not a practical suggestion at all, but I've always thought we should ditch the quarter working requirement and say, no, you got to work a weekend in, you know, registration or timing and scoring or one of those.
Tear down.
Then you'll know. Yeah, I mean, then you'll know what it's like, what people are, you know, why don't we have a complaints department that, and, you know, you're the quarter work and you handle all the complaints for the race weekend, you know. I know it's not really a practical suggestion, but if people think about it that way, or if they were able to work somehow with the people that run the race weekend, they'll see, okay, there's a lot behind the scenes that I'm not getting when I come pay my money and go ride.
Thanks, Greg. Raise your hand a couple times.
I was just going to say, basically, everybody's talked about all these complaints against Lance. Most of us have spoken up and said that he's pretty much the face of the organization. We all love the guy. We all do. We're all here for that reason. We're here to race. Whatever y'all's reasons y'all deem necessary, that's fine. We're not arguing that. We're just kind of, as a group, saying we're kind of upset because he was best for the track. I think that's what most people are just sad that once again, you know, you get fired, you don't want to hang out at your job and use the workout. You're not going to go back to the same restaurant the next week you just got fired.
Well, I've never been to a restaurant because I really love the waiter, I really love the food.
I understand that.
You know, and there's an analogy that I think makes sense, but you have to understand something that, and I'll touch on this, I'm going to ding this a little bit, okay? If I contract with you to work the grid, right? And you're running around doing other things than your job, are you really doing a service to the people that you're supposed to be serving? No, you're not, right? So if some of you can read between the lines, can see what that person did and didn't do at times, that's the start of something that builds up to be bigger and bigger and bigger, right? The club is not about one person, all right? I've known Lynn's longer than you have, okay? Walter's run for 20 years, okay? And so we didn't take that lightly, but, you know, I've never fired anybody that didn't deserve it, okay, in my professional life. And leading up to the decisions that went here, there's very reasonable grounds for why. And sometimes, you know, things just don't work out the way they should, right? And that's kind of where we are now. I get it, man. You know, this is one of those, fortunately and unfortunately, everybody that's here has an opinion on something of what they read that someone else wrote and you believed it, right? Is that a true statement? You don't know. You don't know what the real truth is, but you hear our side and his side. Okay, somewhere in the middle is probably the truth, right? You know, I wish I'd never had a Facebook account. And the message board has changed the way we run this club. Doesn't mean you don't have an opinion. Be respectful of how you pass your opinion. That's what I take away from that. So.
Yeah, all the drama seems to happen on the board, not on the race weekend.
Oh, I've never had more people as they get Brian. I'm like, I made it earlier. It's amazing how everybody knows my email address. I've never had one email from anybody about what we should do differently in the club. Never. I've been on the board. How many times? How many times have I been the CMRA president? If you don't have the audacity to email me a suggestion or something, but yet you're going to get on the internet and then you act a different way to my friend, I don't have any time for you in my life. I'm sorry, I don't. Hey, I'm the easiest person to find. I'm the bald guy up in registration here in the park. Pretty easy to find.
You're bald?
Yeah. I'll show you now. But again, I put my pants on one leg at a time, and I'll continue to do that until my one leg gets cut off. And so that's basically what this comes down to, right? And there's the truth somewhere in the middle. This is,
Real quick, hey Brian, you have some really good ideas, and the fact that you are an aircraft mechanic and you can do all that stuff is a skill set that we could use. Would you like to be on the safety committee?
I'll take that.
Cool, thank you.
anybody else have a question or comment?
You're going to be put on the committee.
Yes, Brady.
I just wanted to say congratulations for each and every one of you, because as a woman coming into a sport that is mostly male, you guys have all been so kind to me. Everybody has been very welcoming and taking me under their, or taking, time with me to teach me about it. And Walter, I adore you. The first person I woke up to after I had the head injury at Texas World was this man. And he gave a shit about me that doesn't know me. What people don't understand is that he cares about everybody in this room, whether you know it or not, like family. And he was genuinely worried, and I will never forget that look on his face. So I will never, ever forget that. And so people don't understand, you can't show sides or affection to one person over another, but that man genuinely loves us, and that's very unusual for somebody in a role of leadership like that, I think.
I'll second.
For a long time, raced against him, been under the tutelage as a race director, but the first thing he did when the ambulance left, he came to me and said, she's okay.
I'm gonna just bring up one last thing. There's people that have been over 15 years. There's guys that have been here for 5 race weekends. You all have a voice. You all have an opinion. It matters to all of us. If you don't think that, I'm sorry, but everybody's opinion does make a difference. So if you have a suggestion, the suggestion box is a good idea. But again, when I sit back and look at the race park that we do and what we've done so much as a club to provide to you, I'm not asking for a medal, but I'm asking for a little appreciation, because a lot of people up here that have busted their butts to make this a better place to race. And at the end of the day, that's why I'm here. If I'm here to make you happy, come take a piece of this car and drive it today. I'll tell you that right now. It's not about that. So, anybody else that wants to say anything before wrapping this up?
Super general question.
Absolutely.
What the hell is up with Jesse's friend Dennis?
God damn it. Some people will show up and talk in person.
Hey, did anybody YouTube this?
It's right there. Right there going.
The whole time.
Awesome.
And you know another part of that? Hey, Jesse. He's asked us to videotape this week.
Teach me.
Yes.
I just want to comment on Dennis. I was saying, I was even trending that guy sitting in fights that he has no dog in, over and over again.
Yeah, but then, you know what? You know what? He has an opinion. Whether you want to listen to it or not is up to you. It's not up to me. I'm not going to ever squelch somebody unless they don't abide by the rules of our message board, right? If someone wants to push someone else's agenda, they can do it somewhere else. You need to form your own opinions based on public information, but I'm sorry that the information we can give you is very limited in scope, and there's a reason for that. It doesn't mean we're hiding something from you. There's no buried ice chest in my backyard with secret documents of where Jimmy Hopkins is buried. It doesn't exist. For some of you young people, I'll tell you Jimmy Hopkins.
One thing, just quick and simple. The actions of these people are responsible. The one thing that I was trying to do is what they do. The actions of this other person who's causing us all a bunch of crap are irresponsible. That's it.
Maybe you should squelch post on the board, because I read, maybe there should be a squelching of posts. I mean, it's very clear that the rules of that board are respect for other people, and so maybe you should squelch some of the crap that I've read.
I've had no less than 10 members come to me today saying shut it down.
Hey guys.
So, I came from Wera. The BBS is probably the single biggest thing that gutted that organization.
For sure.
Because everybody that was new read it, everybody that was interested read it. And some of the comments got to the point where it was so hostile and so toxic, the dudes were like, screw it, I'm never even gonna go there.
For sure.
So that's one of the downsides of VBS. We all get a voice, but that voice carries beyond just this core group of people that are here.
And Sean made that post for a reason, that, look at what we're trying to do to get, and so the state of American road racing, it's never really been worse, right? Motor America is gaining traction, but look at the National Endurance Series we used to have. It doesn't exist anymore. If you want endurance race, you come here. Go around the country. Is it really a race when there's 8 people and you in a motorcycle race?
Or less.
Or a class with one person.
And look at National Contingency Program. There's nothing, this is as good as it gets. You're already part of the solution or part of the problem. So if someone's some outside business going, man, I'm going to take a look at road racing, let's just get the CMRA board. Sean has been asking me to go take a look at the club, and we want to do some good things. We're like, how the hell would I spend my money with these bunch of whiners or whatever it is that they're going to look at and speak against it? It's not in our best interest. I don't believe in censorship, but sooner or later we're going to go Control-Alt-Delete, and you're going to lose your login. Yes, Tom?
So I know every single person up in the front, and I know a lot of you guys in this room, and a lot of people have asked why I'm being so quiet, and it's obvious. The reason that things go downhill with people is because you go with what you see and read without verification. I think somebody up in the front made that comment at the very beginning. Read the freaking bylaws, for God's sakes. There are so many things in the bylaws that would answer these things that are on the message board. And then you can say, that dude's smoking crack. Obviously, he never read the bylaws. The answer is there. Do your own verification. In social media, I'm on it too. Some of you guys, my friends, a lot of people have been blocked. The thing about social media is 99.9% of it is complete and utter BS. It's something that one day I got home and I said, God dang it, I'm pissed off at that no good Sean Gurvich, and I'm going to get on the internet and tweet about it. So the one thing that I want to say is, and the one thing that got me in trouble apparently, is the fact that I went and found information. I read the stupid bylaws. It sucks. Get on the toilet and read it. Ask these people up at the front questions. If you have a question, I have never had Nancy, Walter, Danny, even Alan as a new guy, I've sent questions to him and said, hey man, what's up with this? And not gotten some kind of response, or hey man, we'll get back to you. But if we continue to jump on these bandwagons and listen to people who don't know what the hell they're talking about, is a road to destruction. Obviously the people in this room give a crap.
None of those people are here. None of them.
So the one thing I want to say is please just verify the facts before you jump on a bandwagon.
Go ahead. I wanted to second the opinion that I'm new, and the board, I refrain from forming an opinion just on the board, but yeah, the board doesn't give a good impression, like you were talking about where, and it's being a downfall of where. So I'd just like to second the opinion if you're thinking about trashing the board. But if there's a way to keep like the for sale stuff, that's up to you.
Now it's for sale, we're good.
Hold on.
Because I'm new, I'm trying to feel my out. What am I getting into? Who are these people and stuff like that? Like I said, I've refrained from forming an opinion off anything I see on the board. Because it doesn't reflect the reality that I see when I come to these events.
And the worst part is,
Thank you.
it's so funny. You watch some topic that blows up and has 19 pages and then no one looks at it for 90 days. It's like, really? You were so passionate 2 days ago, now it's the last thing in the world you even think about. I'm sorry, but...
And I'm just going to say something,
All club business to the private forum.
Yeah.
jumping
We've
along
done
here.
that, actually.
I think we are all here because of the product, right? We're here because of the product because we want to race freaking motorcycles, and this is a great place to race freaking motorcycles.
That's right.
So we like that. Now we also have to understand, there are other people that love the product and they give their time and effort, in most cases not paid at all, to allow us to go out and do the thing we want to do, which is race freaking motorcycles. And I think, we just need to recognize, nobody is getting freaking rich you know, from the CMRA. There is not like $1 million freaking dollars out here. This is people that want to do the same things that we want to do, and they are volunteering their time. I've been on boards. It's a thankless freaking job, and I want to thank all of you for doing it, because I know why you're doing it. You're doing it because you love it, and you love us. Thank you.
Yes, Brandon.
I ultimately wonder, because we're at a crossroads, I think. I don't want to see us, what happened if we're at whatever. And what Jesse said, or somebody said, skin in the game. What about having these meetings every now and again, a couple of times a year, and get rid of that message board? Because I'm so tired of people that don't talk in person or come to a meeting. Where are those people today? Where are they? So that is unhealthy for our club to have that, excuse my French, shit circulating around. So get rid of it. Keep the for sale stuff, I agree. But I mean, get rid of it. It is not censorship. It is recognizing the disease and not letting it pervade. Is what I think.
I definitely like to second what Randy said. Being here, having everybody here and discussing these important issues in person is certainly helping clear up a lot of the air. And there's been a lot of crap going around, as it's been mentioned several times. But I think the board in itself should be around in a certain moderation, being able to discuss certain issues as well, and not have to wait until a race weekend to do it. When it's on someone's mind is an important thing, but moderation is also an important thing. Because the crap that is being on the board, I'm not even going to get started. It definitely should be moderated a little bit, I think, to where it doesn't blow up like it has been.
Brooks Grammels was an instrumental part of why the club is here today. And if you don't know who he is, you should look in the CMRA Hall of Fame for a reason. And so when Norman Brooks contacted me, they were like, this idea of making a bulletin board service was an information piece to provide an avenue for you guys to communicate to each other and communicate by, basically to buy and sell parts and so forth. And so, I think we're going to take that to heed, that maybe we need to reevaluate how we look at the BBS. If you want to go ahead and MF me on Facebook, I'm not your friend, I don't care. But I think it does come down to the respect that other people have. And again, when we've got a new member saying that his perspective of our club is jaded based on what he's read on a message board, I have to really think about that. Not jaded, but you haven't formed an opinion yet, and that's a bad thing, because you're not the only guy. But I'm just saying that you're very honest then. But if you look at what we are and look at what you read about, there's a disparity there. That's not good. That's absolutely not good. I love the for sale section. That's not good.
Well, Steve, but that's a challenge for our club, and challengers are good, because challenges make us grow.
I get it, but I'd rather challenge, but I'd prefer you to take the time to write me a clear and concise email about things that you have a problem with, instead of going on the message board. I can tell you that originally, part of why we had that nice little, canned response in my pocket from our law firm came from someone that got on the message board and felt like that was formal communication with the board of directors. It's not. It's not.
People don't understand the face-to-face interaction. Social media, in my opinion, has ruined this country. So why, as a club, are we allowing it to, we got to get rid of the message boards. If people want to communicate and talk about issues, let them use Facebook. Let them do it on their own. I think it's an outdated modality for discussion. This needs to happen.
Well, but you know what? I can tell you this. I have never seen more people in any public meeting with the CMRA in my 15 years as I've seen right now. And I want to thank all of you for caring enough to be here in person versus getting in and being a keyboard warrior. We never had this many people at an open board meeting, at a club, at a debate, whatever we have right now.
Yeah, there's 10 people at that meeting this year.
Exactly.
The last open board meeting, there's 10 people.
I wanted to go back to the beginning, because it all circles back to what they're giving us as a product, as a service. And you can't argue with what they're giving us. Look at all the world champions that have come out of the CMRA.
No kidding.
Look at how many people are still racing national levels. You can't argue with the product. You have the best product in the whole United States, so you can't get any better than what you have right now. So just going back to that.
And believe me, the national level, the Pro Series, they know about us.
Oh, yeah.
They see me and Walter, they know who we are, they say stuff about us as the CMRA.
All of you. Yes, sir.
Based on the amount of times I've heard, are they here right now? I have a suggestion for you. Part of the definition of a member in good standing is actually showing up a minimum of times per season to demonstrate that said person has a responsibility of actually getting here and participating before they open their big mouth on the form.
Really knows you. Yeah,
I'm fairly new here, but I will say this, I guess, in opposition to what everybody else is saying about the forum. I think it's a good thing, not the BS and everybody, their keyboard muscles on the forum, but, I've seen a lot of people like, oh, I need a ride to so-and-so, are you ready to room? Well, if I'm trying to go somewhere, that may be far and I want to bunk up with somebody, I don't have, I don't talk, I'm not really social. I'm not out here, hey, my name is Tony, what's your name? Like, no. I gotta say to myself, when people come, they talk to me, and we'll be friends and this, that, and the other, but it makes it, I guess, easier to, be able to like, okay, well, between sessions, reaching out, oh, I plan on going here to practice, or I'm going out here, does anybody want to ride, or, oh, my bike needs to get picked up or have parts, and I think that's a good part of the forum, and that's constructive, and that's what it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to be used for. But I mean, you do have the vice where, you're always going to have people, any line, you're always going to have the people that kind of bad mouth it, give it a bad name, they abuse it. But I don't think it should, be destroyed because of the few bad.
So what you're saying is essence is that you want us to just delete more posts that aren't positive and keep the ones that are positive.
Yeah. Well, better moderation.
There's a thing about this, and I've been a member of a number of different online communities, because I'm a nerd, that's what I do. It's a very vocal minority that cause problems, whether it's our community or other types of communities. And if you go and look at most of these posts, they have a common source, right? There's 500 members in the club, 400 members in the club, 600 members in the club. Thank you, Nancy knows that because Nancy is awesome. That just but in all seriously, like a lot of the negativity comes from 5 or 10 people, right? How many people around here have said I've read the forums but haven't contributed? Like a lot.
I'm not getting involved in any of that. I come here to race.
But there's a fine line too. There's a method for you to report a post to us that you feel is inappropriate, and we act pretty well on that, I think.
Yeah, didn't we used to have a moderator?
We still do, but my God, can you imagine? There's been stuff on like, I've had enough. It's done. It was like, yeah, that's censorship. That's going to make someone upset. I'm tired of running the club based on fear or emotion of what's going to happen as a result of us doing things right for the membership, right? It's in my best interest to help the guy from Kawasaki gets on there and wants to read our BBS to get a feel for the club. It's my job to keep the assholes from posting bad shit on there that's going to keep you from getting contingency money. In some respect, that's my responsibility, but yet I'm going to be sold, yep, bury your dirty laundry again, put the poop in the backyard. It's very hard to manage that. It really is. And we're trying to find that balance.
Well, I think part of the balance, and I hate to say it, would be, taking more of this crap and putting it in the private forum so that no one in the club can say, oh, we're stifling the dialogue, but, and I think that an attempt is being done to do that. But we do want to allow people, because let's face it, when you're not racing, when it's a month before the race, sometimes you really want to get your racing Jones and it's on the board. So there are positive things on the board and you can hook up with people there. But, there is the negativity, and I think that we do try and move the stuff to the private thread.
So one thing for sure we wanted to make sure we did is that a member in good standing cannot post anywhere but, they can post, but they can't read the private forum. And so we've been very, how many people did we scrub off of the BBS that were non-members that were trying to post in the private forum? A lot of people. So again, when it comes to the stuff that we want you to know, that might be stuff that we don't want the sponsors to see, it's going to be on the private forum. You have to have a membership to be on the private forum. And we're going to be very diligent on managing that aspect of our communication. As limited as it might be, it's going to be in the private forum. And we'll move posts. If that's accusing us of conspiracy, well, I've got a few Oliver Stone books you need to read. Well, we are a club.
Yeah, so hey, I'm Chuck before I don't raise, but I'm a member. And so you made a comment about only putting, you know, it's an appropriate dialogue on the board. And I gotta say, when I start, you know, I've been reading up. I see discussions about a lawsuit that this club is in. That's not appropriate in any way to discuss that. And I see discussions about a personnel matter. Not appropriate to discuss in any way, and so I just gotta disagree with you. It's not appropriate to put those even in the message area of the board.
Well, I'll leave it to the lawyers, and I will say that the private board has had a thread where they try to communicate some of the things that are happening in the lawsuit. I think that's the place for it.
Membership informed, right?
I'd rather do this.
I started that thread. Because I didn't want a one-sided argument out there, because again, only certain things we can put in there. Yes.
I like the idea of, you know, to be a member of Good Standing, you gotta go to some hearings and stuff, but I prefer to be to where if you're gonna host, you gotta race. If you're not racing, how are you a member in Good Standing? You could read it, you know, have people that have
Associate
well,
membership.
there's two types of membership.
Yeah. Racing membership and there's.
Exactly, but half these people don't even race or show up. How are they funding
I don't
this club?
agree with that because my money comes to this club.
You're right. When was the last time you raced, Sandra?
I raise them out all the time.
We're not gonna solve this tonight.
No, but you know what? This wasn't about solving problems. It's, you know, some of you guys might not even never really seen us before in the capacity of the board. We want to let you know that we care about you guys. We care about what we do, but we're in a situation that's never been like this before, you know? And I'm not going to go down memory lane, but, you know, how did I get involved in the CMRA? I started a tracking company in 2001 with one of my best friends way back there, another guy named Jeff Grant. We came to the track. I couldn't believe that I got 20 minutes of track time, and I got a racing license. I went back to the board and said, this doesn't really sound like a very good idea. What if we gave you guys 6 or 7 sessions a day, more training, more inclusive curriculum, and then we put people in the club? And the guy named Brooks Mills goes, man, that's a great idea. As the track day business boomed, and we put hundreds of people in the club, that's where a lot of everybody came from. I don't care if you came from LifeSmart, or Keith or Tell, or me, or anybody. I'm glad you're here. I don't care where you came from. You're a racer. You're part of our club. I don't care where you came from. I'm glad you came from where. I'm glad that you're new to our club. So that's where this all started from. I got involved because I thought there was a better way to make people more prepared. Because in my professional life, all I do is train and mentor people. And so it was something for me to go, wait a minute. I've seen people get more training for tennis. I've never seen anybody die in a tennis court unless you had a heart attack.
You've never seen me play.
And so I want to change that. And when I got involved, Bruce came to me and said, I really want you to be on the board. And I got more involved and more involved. This club changed my life. And I'm glad it did. It made me a better person. But there's a lot of things that happen. I don't need to get, sometimes I think we need to give everybody a history lesson. It's all there for someone to read. At the end of the day, it's about the race product. And I have yet to have one constructive criticism thing emailed to me as a president that says, the racing sucks, timing and scoring sucks, registration sucks, people crash too much, we don't have enough ambulances, there's not enough care, not enough prep time. None of that's ever happened. And until that does, we're going to keep doing things the way we're doing.
Not enough race weekends.
Not enough race weekends.
Amen.
Pete? Come on, man, I've never seen you so quiet. Good? Last but not least, this is it. Are we done?
We can have a group hug.
Last question, then I'm done. Comment.
It's an apology.
Okay.
I formed an opinion based off of what Lynn said, and I called each and every single one of you out on the forum. Briefly, after that happened, Chandra called and spoke to me. I want to say that's unfair that I formed an opinion based off of how he contacted me personally. He contacted me via Facebook, showing me screenshots of emails and conversations, and basically coaxing me to get to form an opinion, and I kind of did. And